The other piece too is we talked about this last month with the scoreboard. I can tell you, Ernie in particular, and I touch this project every day, have now for 3 years, but the scoreboard in particular. But we're still wrestling through some questions about the electrical load that's going to be required to power the entire facility. And the scoreboard sort of got kind of plopped in the middle of the project. There was sort of like additional scope in the middle, and in everybody's defense, it did complicate the question about electrical load. We think we're close to having a solution. In fact, there's a large summit out there at the facility with the electrical inspector and all the parties involved on Friday. We're hoping to have all the questions answered and the issues resolved so we can get an occupancy permit, because that's holding up the entire project. And we're pretty confident that we're close. But as a backup plan, Ernie and I have been working with DPW, and as of Thursday, we're going to actually power up the scoreboard with a portable generator that the town owns. So we'll at least be able to get it up and running, start being able to not only use it, but learn how to use it, in time for example, graduation's coming up. So we're kind of juggling a lot with this project right now, but I just would ask for everybody's patience. I mean, we're doing a 50-year project here. It is frustrating because we all see it and we want it to get going, but we're going to have to take the long view. But I can assure you that we're trying to work through all the issues. They're really complicated, far more complicated than we originally thought, but we're this close, I think. So that's the only update I can give on that.
It's a little embarrassing.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's a big project.
We're having community forums to build a new high school. We can't get a scoreboard
Yeah.
powered on?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how the thing got installed without checking the power.
Well, Ethan and I were talking about earlier today. I mean, one of the complicating things here is that this project, in a perfect world, would have been done all with one contractor under one bid. And the way, and this is just the reality of the situation, but the way the town ended up funding it was in these multiple phases. And so, yeah, it did. It really added a lot of complexities to the project. So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a fact.
I just don't want it to take away from the things that have been accomplished up there, like
Yeah.
the stands and the press box, and the track, and
Yeah.
it's a big project, but
One of the
it's like buying something and not knowing if you have an outlet in your room to plug it in.
It's not really the scoreboard, though. Really, the issue is that there were, again, I mentioned these 4 phases. Let's say the 3 that are complete, or basically complete, like, there were, as an example, 3 different electrical contractors who had to do pieces of their own project, right? And so at the end, it just, we threw a curveball with the scope, and people asked good questions, and we're just trying to resolve it. But, in the big scheme of things, it's a couple months, and it's going to be there for 50 years.
Now, is it an actual technical issue, or is it more of a making sure that everything is compliant with code, and so that when you turn it on, you don't burn something out?
It's about load. It's about load. And it turns out that we actually ended up running a new feeder line through the conduit. It's a long run, not 450 feet. So at the end of the day, we questioned whether or not the original feeder line was enough. So we replaced it. I think it was a good fix. It didn't cost the town any money to do that. We had to go back to a year ago. Yeah, a year ago's work. So, yeah, again, I mean, it's a hiccup. We're working through it. And by Thursday, we should at least have it temporarily powered up so we can at least enjoy it, So.